Hey guys, so this is day 3. This is the video diary day 3. I feel a little off today, like, I don't know, tired, kind of heavy, and I'm not surprised because the full moon is coming, and also I had something huge come up a couple of days ago, and if you follow me on Facebook, like in my podcast Facebook group, then you've already heard all the details and you can probably skip this, but just to kind of glaze over the top of it, I saw my ex-husband. He came to my son's birthday party and he brought his fiance, who is the woman that he left me for, who was my friend. And I almost feel like I reached the point where I've said it so many times now that it's kind of removed the sting from it. I'm almost sick of hearing it myself, so, which I think is a good thing. I've worn it out and I don't even want to deal with it anymore. So the whole reason for this video diary, I guess, like, I feel like I can't do this unless I have something, monumental to share. But I think this is really big. Like, the root of this is really big. So at the root of this, the entire way that I got through it, and this may seem petty to you, but to me this was a huge deal. Like, I had this built up in my mind as being really painful. I mean, I spent the last 2 years avoiding, like really avoiding the situation, avoiding both of them, avoiding dealing with the feelings. I shoved it off because I was like, this is gonna hurt too bad. I don't have time for that. I'm too busy. I have too many other things going on. And that could have been true. I've been working through a lot of things, and my focus, I didn't want to put any energy into them. And I thought if I didn't address it by putting energy into it, then it meant that I wasn't dwelling on it. I wasn't feeding the beast, so to speak. So what ended up happening though is, we avoid these things, right? Like, something comes up in life and we totally avoid it. And the end result is not that it just goes away. I mean, like, my brother used to have this joke where he would say, like, ignore your teeth and they'll just leave. That might be the only thing that really, like, leaves, but then you're left with another problem, right? So I think avoiding is a coping skill, but it'll only take you so far. So I was faced with this. I got nervous. It was on my mind a lot, like in the couple weeks leading up to it. The day of it, it's like somehow I was able to put it in the back of my mind. And now I cannot take full credit for this because I had a conversation with Leanna Jane from Leanna Jane Yoga. And she has been such a dear friend to me and so amazing in this whole process. And she basically was able to speak, directly to me. She just totally gets me. And I gave up responsibility for it being my fault, I think. And I realized that it wasn't because I think for a long time I felt like it was because I wasn't good enough. It was because I wasn't pretty enough. It was because I wasn't athletic enough. I wasn't educated enough. Like, nothing about me was enough. And I felt that way because it was somebody who is the person that he chose to leave with, outside the fact that she was my friend, was somebody that is the total antithesis of me. Like, she's blonde. She's very athletic, built. She's a marathon runner. She finished her degree and she's a working lawyer. And that's like the opposite of me. And so for the last 2 years, I beat the hell out of myself daily with the things that I said to myself about how I wasn't good enough, about how I would never be like her, how I could never be like her. But then Leanna, like, it's like she put a mirror in front of me and she's like, do you want to be like her? Why do you want to be like her? What is it? And the reality is that I love myself. I've done the work, to get to this point where I do love myself, and I see the importance in what I'm doing. I see the beauty in the imperfections that I have. And I suddenly just stopped giving a fuck. Like, there's no other way to really put it, but it was like they showed up and I was like kind of tense and nervous. I opened the door and I just suddenly, like, they crossed the threshold and it was like something in me clicked and I was like, she's not my competition. I don't give a fuck anymore. I love myself. I've reached this point where I love myself. I'm okay. I don't have to have this relationship. I learned so much from it. I suffered so much from it. And it's okay to put it down. It's okay to let it go. It's okay to surrender. It doesn't mean that I'm a failure. It doesn't mean that I wasn't good enough. It doesn't mean any of those things that we tell ourselves when something goes wrong. Or, ends. Like, not even goes wrong, but it just ended. Like, there was no easy way that marriage was going to end. We were extremely connected and even trauma bonded, because I had a near-death episode and he was there. And I think whenever you go through something like that, the bond that you create with that person just goes so deep. I mean, even if it's an unhealthy relationship, you're so bonded to that person because of that situation, because of what happened. So there was no easy way out. The only way for me to really get past this was just to let it go. And once I let it go, I felt like I lost a ton of weight. Like, I felt this, I felt light. My steps were light. I'm getting tongue-tied because I can't even describe it. It was, I felt so grounded. It's going to make me cry. I felt so grounded and I felt so at peace for the first time in years and years. And it was so fucking simple. All I had to do was surrender and realize that it was out of my control. I couldn't will him to stay. I couldn't will him to love me back the way that I loved him. I couldn't will him, to want to have the same values and keep his family together the way that I did. And looking back now, I'm like, why would I want to do that? Why would I want to bend his will? Like, that was agonizing. I think knowing the last 2 years that we were married that he really didn't want to be with me actually caused me physical illness, because I knew on a deep level that he was ready to leave, and I couldn't accept that because I couldn't see my family torn up. And so no matter what, I just stuck. I stuck it out. And I paid for it dearly. And then when he left, it took me 2 years to let him go. Like two years. But once I finally did, oh my God, talk about a relief. So I guess what I'm trying to say is, we all hold on to things that we don't want to let go of. If it's an idea, if it's the way something looks, if it's a feeling that we used to have that we desperately want to cling to, we hold on to it because it's so scary to let it go, because what if we can't get it back, right? What if we never feel that again? What if it was only that one time? What if it's the best we've ever felt and then, we have to let that go? So it is scary. But we're powerful. And we need to let things go so that we can move on, so that we can give the universe, God, whatever you want to call it, the opportunity to give us something else to replace whatever it is that we're seeking. Because good things do come. I mean, I don't have a relationship. I'm actually in a space where I don't think that I haven't made space for a relationship, and I'm not ready to make space for a relationship. And that's okay. I'm totally happy right now like that. I need this time. I need this time to do these things here. I need this time for my children. I need this time to finish my school, to grow my business, to do all the things that, I never did before, because I identified as a shadow of the person that I was married to. So, not to be a total Debbie Downer, but I wanted to share that. And it's okay. Like, you can put it down. You don't have to carry it anymore. You can surrender. Nothing happened. All the fears that I had, I felt like I was going to panic. I felt like if I totally let go of him, I'll be free falling. Or like he was grounding me somehow, and I'll just like fly off into space and like be totally unhinged. No, none of that happened. I am perfectly grounded in myself. I actually feel so much better and so much more grounded in myself. So before I run, I think I've talked about that enough. Before I run, I have this set of Wisdom Keepers cards that I get really excited about. And before I started this video, I pulled a card because these cards speak directly to me. I feel so connected to them. And the card I pulled was Artfulness. And I just love the faces. I love the detail. And so each card has a number, and when you look at the number, it tells a story. And I want to read this to you really quickly. So it'll tell the wisdom story, and then it'll tell my gift to you. So I won't put you through the entire wisdom story, but I'm going to read the gift to you. I'm here to recognize the artfulness in you. I come when it's time for you to mark it from the heart. What is the essential message you want to share with the world? How does your love long to be expressed? What is the deeper intention behind your offering? And then it goes on to say, let go of thinking that you can only achieve your goals through willpower or by giving your mind the reins. Half the time your mind doesn't even know what you want. I'm asking you to reach deeper, and while you're reaching, stop judging your pride and ego. Embrace and celebrate them for the ability to make dreams come true. So to me, this like totally feeds into surrender. Which is like the whole theme of what I felt like, you know, talking to you guys about today, about what I experienced this week. So it says questions for contemplation. How does pride express itself in your life? Out in the open, beneath the surface, be honest here. When growing up, what did you learn about selling yourself or about what it takes to be successful? Were you taught that if you don't use your willpower to make something happen, it won't? So this brings up willpower, which I think is so powerful because I was trying to use my willpower to keep a marriage going, to keep a relationship going, to build a scene that in my mind was where I needed to be. Oh God. And letting go of all of that, like I hear it now and I'm like, oh wow, like I poured so much energy in a lot of directions that were not healthy. And I tried to use my willpower to control the situation, and I've tried to do that before. And I'm realizing, like, if you're doing that, don't get angry with yourself. Like, it's something that we're typically programmed to do. But if you can start to see it, then that's a good step. You're recognizing it, and I've recognized it, and I'm to that point now where ain't nobody got time for that. I don't have time for that anymore. I'm not going to try to bend anybody's will anymore. I'm not a god. I think that was one of the things that gods can't even do is bend someone's will. So, yeah, if something's not for you, it just won't be for you. We can't force it. And we just have to deal with how we feel in the aftermath. And sometimes it can be messy and sometimes it can be painful. But there's so much support out there, and I'm totally supporting you. And I love to hear about the situations that you've been through that might resonate with my story. So I will see you guys next time.